Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. This is Gloom of Kilforth, and we are on part number 8 of our playthrough through the land of Kilforth. Vognus has had quite the hardship in the earlier episodes, but has lately been making quite some progress in a positive way, and we are very close to finishing chapter number 2, which is great news. Now, there's a couple things I want to talk about before we go ahead with this turn, because where we ended the last video was just before we were about to go ahead and pull a night card. So before we go ahead and do that, I want to talk about a couple things that happened during the video, in the last video I should say, that I want to clean up. One of the first things is I made a big error, and that is because I didn't notice in the rule book there was talk about AP and HP in terms of when you level up. There is some talk that when you go ahead and level up, you not only get a skill card, you also get an extra HP. What I had thought was you're still capped at the 4 AP, but the way Breaking Camp always works is heroes take AP equal to current HP. So if you have 5 because you gained 1 more because you leveled up, and then next time you level up you get another HP, you can actually get AP for all of those different HP tokens you have. So on the last turn of the last video, we should have had 1 extra AP, which is a black token. Now, one thing happened there that not so many people liked, and I can tell you honestly, I didn't like it either. I gave up the Dwarven Axe in order to gain a success against the Thieves Guild because I got 5 successes and needed 1 more. Well, guess what? We had a free AP that I did not use. So what I'm going to do is a last-ditch effort to save myself from losing this card is I'm going to do a roll here, and we're going to roll and hope that I can get at least 1 success. We're going to essentially use that 1 AP that I actually had and kind of ignored or didn't even realize I had. So we're going to take 4 dice. We're rolling for will. So we're going to do 4 dice. We just need 1 success. So here we go. We got it, just barely. All these ones failed, and this one finally rolled around. That's awesome news. So that means, guys, that we're going to go ahead and actually keep our Dwarven Axe in our hand. And I know there's a whole bunch of people that were like, why did you let that one go? Believe me, guys, I didn't want to. That was not part of the plan at all. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is the fact that, and I already kind of moved this in the wrong position, but at the end of the last video, we had actually gone ahead and veiled, the horse rider to move into this location. The second error that I made was saying that a plot card counts as an encounter card. The only reason that that's somewhat true is it counts as keyword. In other words, the keywords still can apply and help you, okay? But it doesn't actually count as an encounter card. So if I move into this location, yes, I don't have to encounter this, but I still have to pull an encounter card, if that makes sense. So that's kind of nasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull that encounter card now, so that we can resolve it, and then we can move forward with the beginning of the playthrough. So those are the only 2 major things I want to talk about. So we already resolved the first one, and the good thing is, guys, we got the Dwarven Axe back, which is great news because it is a nice card. So we're going to go ahead and pull from the Badlands location now and see what we get. We got the Pit of Hell. That doesn't sound too pleasant, and it is considered a quest, so that's good news, because if it was an enemy, I would have to do a whole round of attacking right now and could potentially lose more health, so thank goodness it wasn't that bad. It has keywords Destroy and Badlands. It says, discover the source of the Demon Scourge and close it off for good before all hell breaks loose, okay? And we can gain a spell. That's what spell icon, and 3 gold if we decide to go after this. Now, we're going to start off our playthrough right now because now we've got all that out of the way. We're going to go ahead by starting with a night card. So, of course, using the 2 dice that I always do, I'm going to tick this up to 12 as we're 12 night cards in as of right now, pulling this card off the deck. So I'm going to put these 2 back on the top, and we'll see what happens. I got the Rosen Pilgrimage. Okay, it's a quest, and it has Seek as a keyword. It says, revealed, place this quest at Open Heath. So there's a Rosen Pilgrimage happening. These are 2 keywords I do not need currently because I have the Thief Guild and Vengeance's quest keywords, and I believe this is quite far away. Yes, it's at a Plains location in Open Heath, which also falls into Gloom. So our wonderful, it actually looks like a nice place to visit. Vognus probably would have liked being there and it would have helped him in his quest to find the keywords stranger and ally that he's still trying to find. But this location has now fallen into gloom thanks to the Abbess of Penance, and this card here will sit on top. Okay, so we've gone ahead and resolved that, and that is a quest card, so it will sit there. We're going to go ahead now and talk about, what else? Discarding all encounter successes. We don't have any. We are not hidden, so we don't have to worry about that. We're not dead, so we don't have to worry about healing 2 HP back. We unveil everything that we used in the last turn, so everything comes back. And we're ready to rock. We're ready to break camp. So Vognus is up and ready to go right here on the Endless Brackens. So he's going to go ahead and get all the AP for every HP he has. Now, he, in the last video, would have been at 5. So what I've done is just put that extra health to the side. But he took a hit by spending the night in a gloom location. So he's not going to have, he would have had 5 AP as well, which would have been super handy, but guess what? We only got 4, but we know what? I'll take 4. 4 is good still. Gives us options. The first thing I'm planning on doing, guys, is using my horse. Vognus is going to get the heck out of here because he has no use for any of these cards. The only thing, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that could be useful would be potentially blowing away the plot card. There's no stipulation that says that I can't go ahead and blow the plot card away first. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to go ahead and try to defeat this plot card. And so it does say, based on the rules here, it's considered a clear action. So it says, one obstacle or plot card from your location can be cleared. You take the plot card in your hand as a rumor and draw a loot token. That's, again, you have to meet the defeat criteria. So we were going to get rid of this House of Rot has come together. We're going to take away this the Colony of Penance, and we're going to defeat it by spending 1 gold. I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not okay because we need the gold, but we also, when we finally fight the Ancient, cannot have these types of cards in play because they give him abilities during battle against us that really can hurt us. The only positive for us here is we get to put this in our hand, which is great as a rumor. And now we can go into the bag and hope to actually pull something. Maybe we'll get gold. Maybe we'll get nothing. There's actually a possibility of getting nothing, and I'm really hoping that's not the case. Let's see. Hey guys, we got our gold back. So essentially it all ended up working out. So I'm gonna check that over there. You again don't put tokens back into the game into the bag as well. So we gained our 1 gold back as if we hadn't even spent it. That's great news. All right. So in order to do that, of course, in order to do that clear action, it costs 1 AP. So this 1 is gone. All right. The next question we have to make, as Vognus is in the Endless Brackens, he has no reason to want to encounter the Pit of Hell at this current time, even though it gives lots of coins. It's just not worth his time. He needs to get to the Windy Valley where these 2 keywords have more likelihood of showing up. And the ally one's going to be harder to get because we need to get essentially an encounter that allows us to gain an ally, being this card, this deck right here, I should say, in order to get it into play as a rumor. We need to essentially acquire an ally, and the only way to do that is to get a card that actually can allow us to discard the encounter when we defeat it to gain that ally. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, but I'm going to use the Horse Rider right now for its free move AP, so I'm going to go ahead and veil that card in order to have Vognus charge from the Endless Brackens to the Windy Valley, where he is more than happy to spend his time in that nice mountain valley air. So we're going to go ahead, and obviously that did not count as using an AP because it is a free kind of action. A deed is what it's called, and those do not require AP, so that's great. So he's in the Windy Valley, but he has to pull an encounter card as there is none currently. And he pulled the Good Wife. That's not a bad card to pull. So it is a Stranger Noble Plains. Now this is going to give him the Stranger keyword, and as of right now, that's one of the ones he needs based on the cards that are in his hand. So I'm more than happy to take that Stranger. That's great. We need allies still. The cool thing about this card is her requirements to beat it are just insanely low, especially for somebody like Vognus, who's also a priest and essentially a paladin, but has a priest background and pious, if I'm even saying that correctly. But this particular character here obviously doesn't take much. Again, if we had jewelry on in terms of a weakness, if we had jewelry as a keyword, probably coming from an item currently in hand, we'd just defeat this without even having to try to confront it. But it is a stranger, so we're going to go ahead and go and try to influence it. So in order to do so, we need to spend a AP in order to confront this particular stranger. So we're going to go ahead and take an AP away. We're going to confront the good wife, and we're going to roll and try to get this. Now we've got quite a few AP to spend in order to do this, so we should be okay, I think. Yeah, we should be fine, I think. So here we go. We're gonna roll for this, and I'm gonna make sure that I haven't messed anything up yet in terms of AP. We started here. We cleared the plot card. That counts for 1 AP. Then we moved using the horse rider to here. That was free, and now we're confronting with the second AP. Perfect. So we get to roll 4 dice, which is great because who doesn't want to roll 4 dice? Especially when they're trying to make a check of only 2 successes. So hopefully I don't need to use any rumors or anything like that in order to win this. And I got 1. Good, good. At least I got 1. I was a little concerned there. So I got 1 success. So we're going to go ahead and grab 1 gold. I'm just going to drop this. Not really gold. I'm going to use it as a counter to say we got 1 of the 2 successes we need. Now I'm going to use another AP here in order to do this again to try to encounter the good wife. And she's more than happy to be on our side. So we have convinced the good wife that we are an ally and a friend, and she has joined us and given us maybe some useful information in order to help us out, and that's great news. So the first thing we're going to look at is the fact that, guys, we get 1 gold. I would normally go for the token bag in this situation, but guys, when we need a regale action and we need 5 gold, I'm not going to mess around. I will take the gold right now to ensure that we're going to have what we need. So that's great. Oh, that's good. It feels good to have that close. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to actually we've chosen to do that. Now we can choose to either keep her or go for an ally. Now this is where it gets interesting because we know we need an ally anyway. So this is very interesting because we need both of these keywords. And so essentially her card would satisfy one of these, but by discarding her, we gain the ally we need. Now, the thing is, I don't know how often it will be that the ally card will come up. So, or like in other words, the ally reward will be available. Obviously, it's more likely to happen in the Plains location because of the blue there. But I'm very tempted to go for the ally here because it could turn around. Essentially, we may not get lucky enough in a future round here to actually pull the card we need in order to succeed if we go for the ally. But I'm going to do it because I think it just makes sense. So this is a risk, but I'm going to discard the good wife. Okay, so I know she's good and she looks nice and she wants to help us, but we've gotten the useful information we wanted, and she's told us about an ally that wants to join our cause, and we've chosen to let her go. So we're going to go ahead and go over here to the ally deck and flip this over, and what the heck? We got the exact same art as what's on the card cover, so that's weird. But hey, this is an ally. We knew it was an ally because we pulled from that deck, but it goes into our hand as a rumor automatically, and that's great. So if we can go to the Rising Bluffs, which that's crazy. It's right here. So it's within distance. We could actually end up having this ally in play with us at all times. What does it say here? When the night phase ends, heal 1 HP. So we could actually potentially get this card in play. We could use this as an asset. That's really cool. The only downside is if I don't do it in time, I may end up needing to discard it in order to complete the chapter. So a little bit of a balance there. Okay, but regardless, we got her in our hand, and I'm absolutely not letting her go. So we've got a quest card. We could say we'll use probably, we'll use one of these 2 quests, and we'll be using the ally. Now we need that stranger again. Okay, so here's the next thought. We have 1 more AP left. We're still in the Windy Valley. So this is where I have to make some decisions, and I want to double check that I still have that AP. I was here. I killed off the plot card using 1 AP. I then moved for free using the horse rider. I then still would have had 3 AP. I confronted her once. I confronted her twice. Yes, I would only have 1 left. And you know what we can do when there's nobody here, which is really cool. We've never done this before, is we can actually just search, which says to draw a new encounter at your location. And you can only do that when there's no obstacles, meaning like no clouds like this or no encounters present. We don't have any. So the awesome thing is I can spend an AP, which I'm going to do right now, in order to speed things up and try to hope that we find the stranger keyword, essentially, or something like that, because either one, essentially. Oh no, sorry, we need the stranger. Never mind. We don't have a choice there. We need the stranger. So here's hoping. So we're pulling from the Plains deck. We're encountering, we're searching and hoping. And oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we found the cleric. So this is a stranger noble plains, exactly what we needed. We still need to successfully be able to encounter her. We're not going to be able to do that this turn, but hey, we'll be more than ready next turn. Let's read what her text says. Oh, she has a weakness to pious. That word throws me every time. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. But guys, we have that keyword. Now this is really cool because we've never done this before, but essentially if this card is on the map and it says it's weak against that keyword, if we have that keyword in play, and we do, because essentially Vognus is a priest, and it even, let's see what it says here. She's a cleric, so the wandering cleric, Lady Emma, sought only to join those whose missions were as holy as her own. Well, it only makes sense that she would join a priest, and so we don't have to actually use an AP to confront her, I don't believe. Because she has a weakness, we automatically succeed at her. We succeeded her without having to spending any AP, and I think that's awesome. So we've now got the stranger keyword. Not only am I going to keep her card, but I gain 2 gold, or I could go to the loot bag. Tough call. Very tough call. Let's go for the money. Let's go for the money, because at this point in time, you know, we might even get a free market action at some point, and this will help us get our money in hand ready for a future chapter regale action as well, and in case we possibly lose some during the game. So I'm doing that. I'm going to keep her card. Now the only thing I can't do this turn, because now I've run completely out of AP, is I can't do a regale action in order to end the chapter. But the cool thing is, all of you guys know that I've got enough keywords here between quest, ally, and stranger to go after we can discard those cards as rumors in order to complete our second chapter. That's awesome. So we're going to end our turn very happily on this day. That was an insane amount of progress in that particular video. Holy. Hopefully that keeps up. So we are done as of right now, and we can move into the night phase. So Vognus is ready to take a long-deserved rest in the Windy Valley. However, it's not in Gloom, so there's no worry of taking damage. We're going to go ahead and resolve a darkness card. So these 2 6s will actually have to add a new die. So let me grab one of those. We're going to be at 13 darkness cards total. So we're always talking about the faces along the edge pointing towards me, not the ones on top. So we've got 13 night cards in play. We're going to flip this night card and find out what we found. Pouring rain. Doesn't sound too nice. It's a weather condition. I don't like those. They stay in play for a while. So it says, when breaking camp ends, each hero with 2 or more AP loses 1 AP. That's no good. So that's going to hurt us even going right away. It's going to hurt us. So the Kilforth is now covered in rain. That's no good. It says, miserable and torrential will the downpour ever cease. The rolling hills have now fallen into gloom. Guys, we spent the majority of the beginning of the game in this location. It was, I think this is where we found the troll, if I'm not mistaken, and it has now fallen into gloom. We also spent many nights there healing in the early days when things were a little rough. Now this is a weather card, so technically you take weather cards. For me, I'm just going to put them up here, and I think that's fine. You're pretty much just putting it there as a reminder like we did in the past for weather cards. That's great. Not great, actually. That's terrible, the fact that we're going to lose an AP, but at least it's easy for us to remember. And now we can go ahead with the Dawn phase. So in Dawn, we discarded counter successes if we had any, which we do not currently have any outstanding ones. We're not currently hidden, so we don't become unhidden. Any defeated hero, if we were defeated, we gain 2 HP back and be alive here in Sprawl City. We are not. We unveil cards, so obviously our steed is now rested up overnight, so that's good news. He's ready to go. And we break camp. We're starting daylight. So daylight, Vognus is wide awake in the Windy Valley. And I'm going to gain AP equal to my current HP. And sadly, I wasn't able to heal, but I had so much progress in that last video, I really don't care. I think Vognus did a great job getting the job done. And that's what we need to do in these next couple videos, is make up for some of the harsh situations that he went through in those first couple videos. They were pretty tough. He didn't have an easy go at the beginning, but we'll see how things turn out as we move along here. So we've got 4. We know his max health is 5, so if we can try to get that extra one later, that'd be great. The really terrible thing about this is by breaking camp right now, having these 4 AP put on, the Pouring Rain now comes into effect, and it says when breaking camp ends, each hero with 2 or more AP loses 1 AP. So at this current time, we just lose an AP before we even start the day. So we're a little bit capped now off the top, but you know what, we have a very good goal here in this next video, and that is to go ahead and solve this next chapter, and I'm really excited about that. So let's go ahead and start moving towards that goal. So we're going to begin our day, guys. We're in the Windy Valley, and Vognus here is ready to do his regale action. So he is going to spend 1 AP. He is going to spend 5 gold. He's just chucking the gold around like crazy. He's a rich guy. He's going to... Now we're going to take this second chapter here, which I'll give you guys a chance to take a look at the text which we read. This is from earlier on when we first pulled it. To complete it, we're doing the 5 gold and 1 regale action, which I'm doing right now. We need a stranger, a quest, and an ally to defeat. If we had these cards in any of these 3 keywords in our player area, we could actually just show them and that would count for it, which would be great. We don't currently, so we're going to need to pull them from our rumors, which means we need to discard them. We can also gain money and stuff like this by the ones that are in the in play or assets we can gain money from, but because our keywords only apply to rumors, we have to discard them. So this is where we want to be smart. So the first one to probably get rid of would be this one. This one here is a quest, and it has the keyword destroy. So this will satisfy the quest keyword and allow me to keep the other quest ones that I have. And the only reason I'm doing that is because they have other keywords like forest and other keywords like mountain, which who knows, they may end up coming in handy. So this one just has quest and destroy. So I'm more than happy to let that go in order to solve the quest keyword. The next one, or one I probably should have done first, was stranger. So this is where we're going to have to get rid of her. We don't have a choice. The cleric has to go because we don't have any other stranger keywords. So goodbye. That resolves that keyword. And also the healer. We weren't able to essentially... well, this is interesting, actually. This is really, really interesting. Because what I could do... And this might be me changing my mind here really quick. Really quick. Oh, it's dicey. What I'm thinking of is, yeah, okay, and you know what? Ugh, this is sketchy. I have enough AP. I have 2 AP. That would allow me to go 1, and I could also even go hidden, and I could use my horse to get to the Rising Bluffs, or I could just go Rising Bluffs to here with the horse rider, and then because there's an encounter, I don't have to do anything here. I can keep going to the Rising Bluffs, but I would encounter something here. But the reason I'm even talking about that is because I could just try to discover her at the Rising Bluffs and have her as an asset, meaning I don't lose her. Because she has a really cool ability of when the night phase ends, healing 1 AP is really, really nice. But I don't think I can get it all done, and I also don't think I have the time. I'm 13 night cards in out of 25, and I still have chapter 3, 4, and the finale to cover before I even talk about the Ancient. So I think I'm going to have to let her go, but we're near the end of the video, guys. So what I want you guys to do is, this is a great time. I'm kind of halfway through here, my regale action. Before I go ahead and toss this card, should I backstep and decide to actually hold off on my regale action and make my run to the Rising Bluffs and try to gain her as an ally first, or should I just regale here and then move forward from there? I want you guys to give me the feedback. I want to know what Vognus should do in this situation. Should he be trying to get the healer as an asset, or should he be discarding her immediately and moving forward in the chapter as fast as possible? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough. Thank you for your feedback. And as always, keep on rolling solo.